Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ryan from Mama's Got a Budget, and thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is going to be part 2 of kind of my April wrap up. I've decided to break up my budget because I have so much going on and because I think I go into more detail than some other budget channels. So I want to kind of break everything up into pieces. So this is my April income and variable expense report. Now I'll keep these going on a monthly basis. I'll break them up this way so that you can, number one, digest them a little easier than a budget movie that's like over an hour of me going in depth of everything, but also so you can pick and choose like which ones sound more interesting to you, which ones you like to watch and rewatch again. So yes, we're going to jump right into the screen share where I'm going to show you my income and my expenses and show you how I'm tracking it all. So if you like to see that, then go ahead and keep watching. So jumping right into my screen share of my spreadsheet, this is the main hub that you see on the screen here. This is the summary of every tab that I have down below compiled into one snapshot that kind of feeds me all the information that I need to know to make budgeting decisions literally on a daily basis. Like I said in a couple videos ago, I use Microsoft 365 for tracking this, and they also have an app on the phone. I love having apps so that my budget, my numbers, my progress is readily available to me. If I'm out and about, there are times that I do have to look at my budget like, oh, I want me a little burger or something. I check to see how far I am along a restaurant, so I'm like, okay, never mind, maybe not. It's really helpful if you can bring yourself to pull back the veil a little bit and look at what you have going on. Also, if you want to use Google Sheets, that's also a good alternative as well. In this video, though, I wanted to show and tell you about my income for the month of April, as well as everything I spent in my variable expense column for the month of April. So if you notice, my income line is a little bit different, right? So I've hidden the cells that go between 3 and 12, just because there's like a lot of information in there where certain money is coming from. So I don't want, let's keep it real, he's not watching this video, but like I don't want my baby daddy looking at this and being like, oh, I paid you this month, but then you have that, like, I just don't need all that. So just know that this is the number. I just want to be a little bit more cautious with the descriptions of the information that I'm putting out there. Like, yes, this is my real income, but I just want to, keep a little bit more on the hush just so I don't create any problems on the back end in my personal life. That's all it's for. So in the month of April, I made $8,952.23. Now, that is a lot. I am grateful. I am blessed. But a large chunk of that was income tax money that I got back. Also, my full-time job is in there. What else is made up? Interest. If I have any carry forward from the previous month, that's in there. I actually have that noted down below also, so you'll be able to see that. Child support, and then other income like income tax, and then Elijah got birthday money, so I had to put that in there so that I can filter it out into the categories that I want to put it in down below. So it's a lot going on in there. So but 8,952 was the total. Again, every month is not like that. As you can see, in March I made $3,500 less, so it really does depend and fluctuate. What it does not include, which I am hoping, I am manifesting, it does not include any like brand deal type of money in there, which I am, hoping to add. So I'm going to skip over this direct expense section, but just know that it's straightforward. It's like, what bills do I have to pay for the house? Mortgage, HOA, phone and internet, school lunch, car wash, and then I have like a couple subscriptions in there. Car wash, Canva, the gym, Elijah's haircut, his allowance, and the water bill. Also, these are the bills that I pay with cash. So if it's credit, I have it noted down below in my credit card section. That's a whole different animal that we can get to another day. But these are the bills that I pay for with cash. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over that section and then move down here to the variable expenses. These are the bills the expenses that I have categorized that are like on a day-to-day basis that I use cash for also. Either like physical paper cash money or my debit card is all housed in here. My categories so far I have are groceries, activities, clothing, car gas, personal/self-care, Atlas, which is my dog, miscellaneous, restaurants, home, wellness, and then I have my savings goals, which was in the previous video, my savings challenges 2 videos ago, and then we have the next month carryover. The way that I figure out the next month carryover is I want to have a 0 net income figure at the end of the month, and I want to use 100% of my income. So whatever is left over, if I'm using 99% of my income and I have $11 left over, that's what I mean by carry forward. Like, I'm not spending it this month, so I'm going to take it and put it up into the income next month, if that makes sense. So in the month of March, I had $460.73 left over that I did not use for any direct or variable expenses. So I noted that as an expense in March to get my net income to 100%. So then I can then carry it forward to April. So I hope that makes sense. So looking at April, let's see how we did. Groceries, I spent $363. That is pretty normal. It's a little bit higher than last month, but I feel like it's pretty normal, where I do like $120 grocery pickup from Walmart or something like that in a week. So I feel like that's pretty normal. Activities, those are like what I have Elijah in so that he keeps busy and gets off the couch, off electronics, whatever, just gets out and does stuff. Last month it was $250. This month it was $125.38. Clothing, we didn't spend any money on. We do have summertime coming up, so that will change. He's going to need like new swim trunks, shorts. We're going to need like, warm weather clothes. Gas for the car, $157.07. A little bit better than last month. I stayed home a little bit more. So just working from home and just going into the office one day a week is all I do. Everything else is pretty local. Personal/self-care, $382. I'll have to go and see what all that is comprised of. I don't know. I should have looked at this before. Atlas, my dog, I spent $173.99 this month just on, dog stuff. Miscellaneous, $112.54. That includes like one-off things and snacks. Restaurants, $215.27. Oh, welcome change from March. As you can see, I saved over $110, $113 and some change from March. Like, I don't know what was going on in March. Remember where you came from, okay? Remember March? You was down bad. You was embarrassed, okay? So let's not have to report no $400 restaurant line item in April. So that's what I did. Home is $600 even. Now let me tell you what. The morning I got my income taxes back is the morning my sump pump decided to go out. I mean, my taxes were in my account pending. I woke up that morning, I saw a notification from Chase, because I have my notifications on when I get a direct deposit more than $1. Like, I need to know what's happening. I go in the basement, I hear a beeping noise that I've been hearing, but I thought it was going to stop. The sump pump has been giving me the flux for like the past consistently like 2 years, and I've been in this house for 4. So, I mean, it was about time. I mean, I've had handyman look at it on the fly, my uncle, the painter, my boyfriend, my friend, like people come through and I'm like, can you please look at this sump pump? I don't think it's right. Like, I think it was a little too small for my home. It was bad. So when I went down there the morning I got my taxes back, my drainage thing, like I have this little hatch I can lift up, it was filled to the top. So of course I tried to fix it myself by getting like the wet vac out. But yeah, as soon as I sucked the water out, it would come right back in. I didn't notice. And then I looked behind me, the floor soaking wet because the wet vac was overflowing. Like, it was a whole thing. So then the plumber comes out and he's like, yeah, you have 3 options, but looking at this, no, you really only have 2 options. Either the combo or the main sump pump needs to be replaced. Otherwise, next time it rains, your basement's going to flood. I'm like, okay, how much is the combo? He was like $2,200. I said, get the fuck out of my house. Who are you talking to? $2,200. Okay, yeah, no, I don't have that money lying around. You think I'm budgeting or something? Like, no, I don't have that. So I was like, well, how much is the backup? And he was like, $600. I was like, oh my God, $600 plus labor? He was like, no, $600 flat. So that's what I gave him, $600 flat. He was in and out in an hour and a half. I saved my home from flooding in the basement and everything, but I was just like, can this money just clear the account before it makes plans? Like, so that's my little story time about my $600 home expense for this month. So grateful that I was able to pay for it with cash, not have the burden of charging it on a card and then earning interest. Wellness, $32.82. Got to look at that also. I'm not sure what that was. I'll look. And then savings goals and challenges we went over in the last video. $14.50 for goals and $120 for challenges. That brings my variable expenses this month to $3,732.80, which was 41.7% of my income. I have to kind of go through and look at where I'm trending so I can make budget targets. I have decided this time around to not so much focus on dollar amounts in buckets, but more so like an overall percentage for the category. So like, I don't want to see 50% variable expenses. I know that that is too much. Like, that's not the goal. And by having these savings buckets in place, that's really going to help, because if I need to draw from it, then I can just draw from my sinking fund or my savings goals, put it into income and have it flush right back out, and it's not hitting my net income so hard. 41.7% is what we spent in our variable expenses this month, and it was just a time to be had. And I'm going to show you where all this information comes from, because it's not just a fly by night. I don't just do it once before the video and then I'm set. Like, no, this is a daily thing that I take care of. So down here I have tabs on tabs on tabs, but you'll notice I have a March and an April 2024 spending tab. And if I click on that, here is where the hub is. This is the underbelly of the MGB budget, if you will. So I set this up. Of course, I can do a tutorial on the spreadsheet if you really want to. So this is the underbelly of my budget, and this is where I track all the goings on. This is all the money that is going out. So over here, I have this little calendar that I made. I just copy and paste from over here, actually. I just made those quick. I have highlight. I always want to say highlight. I have highlighted all my pay dates. All my pay dates over here in green, just so that I can see. 5 columns here: the date, the description, the amount, the category, and the source. The source is where I spent the money from. The category is where it goes on the main sheet. Like, does it go in variable? Does it go in personal, wellness, home, like where does it fall? And then the amount, of course, what it was and the date that it happened. I highlight in red, or I change the text to red when I'm paying a bill, so that I know where I sent it. And yeah, I just go ahead and I go through and I track any and everything. Yeah, I have in red where I have the money going out to, and then I just give the best description that I can, just so that I know. Oh, here, this is not red. Like when I pay the water bill, the credit card bill, and then when I hit money to savings, just everything that's coming out of my accounts, whether it's credit, debit, cash. Here I have a drop down here: credit, debit, cash, and then which credit card it is, like my Sapphire, Walmart, Quicksilver, Platinum, or American Express. So I just go ahead and choose. Oh, and side note, if you have Chase, use that Chase split in 4. Like, I tried that out this month, and I'm kind of feeling it. Like, we went out to eat at Chili's, and it was $70, and then I got the notification, like, do you want to split this payment? And I was like, okay, what is this? So I clicked on it, and it's like, oh, you have every 2 weeks. It's like Afterpay or Sezzle or Klarna or wherever, but it's within your Chase account. So I'm just paying $17.50 interest-free over 4 periods for me. Like, I know that it's like you shouldn't really do it if it's like that, but I just wanted to test it out. That was the first time I did it. Then I was like, oh, hell yeah. So then I turned around and I did it for Elijah's his basketball program that he's in. It was $120. So I broke that up into 4 payments of $30, and it comes straight out of my account. It's like on auto pay. So I really like that. Side note, if you guys are interested or have that option, go ahead and take advantage of it if you can. But yeah, over here to the right, I was saying I started off in sequential order, but then I was kind of jumping around a little bit, putting things that I knew was coming up, but I didn't want to forget about. I would put over there. But the way that I make sure that it balances is over here I have my just generic formulas that I'm pulling from, just to make sure that I balance. So like my pivot table should always equal my total on the left. my spending total. So if you can see, $5,899.96 balances with this $5,899.96. But of that, there's some bills mixed in there that are not included in my variable expenses, and that is the $2162.80. And I did that just by subtracting out, like taking the grand total minus the variable bills minus the fixed bills, and that's the $2162.80, which should also balance to everything but over here, $2162.80. And then when I transfer it to the main hub and I add up everything minus the savings, it's $2162.80 because I linked it to here, if that makes sense. Like I said, join my nerdy budgeting quest. My monthly income here is just pulled from the main spreadsheet, the 8952.23. My spending percentage, I just did minus the bills. So I did the 2100 over the 89. So my spending in like all the the groceries, restaurants, Atlas, miscellaneous, self-care, Elijah categories was 24.16% of my income. Again, if we take take these two things out, there's the 24.16% of my income. So yeah, I don't want that to get too high either, because then that just means I'm making money, but I'm spending it all at Chili's. Like, we don't want to see that. So that keeps me in check also. So then I take all income versus all spending, and that leaves me with $3,052 in the black. So if this number was negative, that would mean that I'm spending more than I'm making. But since it's positive, I'm making more than I'm spending, which is good. So jumping back over here, that brings us to 41.7% of our income. And again, I'll have to look and see where I'm trending, but I'll probably have it right around 38 to 42%. I think this 45% is a little high, but again, I want to base it off of my income, not necessarily, I only want to spend $100 in the month for restaurants or this and this and that. I could see that if I was using physical cash envelopes, but if you notice, I'm not really doing that too much anymore. I'm using my debit card and then tracking it that way and then keeping myself in check. I have been better. I think it's just because now that I'm older and now I have more of a sense of, okay, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm running this household like on my own. You can't be swiping like crazy, and you can't act like you were when you were living with your mom, regardless of whatever budget's going on. So I think that I'm more in tune with it. So I haven't been using physical cash, but I can see if you are using physical cash, making those category goals as dollar amounts. But me, since I'm using my card, I'm going to use that as percentage going forward. So yeah, I think I'm done rambling here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I started this in 2018, and now 6 years later, like, I'm still finding new ways, new methods, new processes, and things to work for me. So I can attest to that. It's never too late to start, and there's always something new that you can learn. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys.